I never thought my wedding day would end with my mother-in-law crying into a napkin in front of 200 people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Diane never liked me. Not once in 3 years did she say my name without a little smile that meant something else entirely. When Sam and I got engaged, she didn't congratulate me. She looked at my hand and said, "Well, that's certainly a ring for someone with your background." I let it go. Sam kept saying, "She'll come around. She's just protective." She wasn't protective. She was cruel, quietly, consistently, in ways that were never quite big enough to confront. At the engagement party, she joked that I was marrying up. At the bridal shower, she gave a toast about how her son always attracted women who needed rescuing. At the rehearsal dinner, she pulled me aside and said, "I hope you know what you're taking on. Sam comes from something. I'm not sure you understand what that means yet." I understood exactly what it meant. It meant I had 6 months to prepare. See, here's the thing about me that Diane never bothered to learn. I'm a corporate mediator. Conflict de-escalation is literally my job. I read rooms for a living. I don't panic in silence. I use it. So instead of fighting her comment by comment, I started paying attention. I noticed how much Diane cared about appearances, how she'd mention, constantly, unprompted, how, put together, our family looked to her friends, how important it was to her that everyone believed her son had married well. I realized her cruelty wasn't really about me. It was about control. The fear that if people saw me as an equal, she'd lose some invisible authority she'd built her whole identity around. So at the reception, when she asked to give a toast, a second one, unplanned, right after the best man, I already knew what was coming. She raised her glass. "I just hope," she said, voice sweet as poison, "that Sam remembers who he was before her. Some people marry into families. Others marry into opportunities." The room went dead silent. 200 people. My father, mid-bite, froze completely. Sam's face went white. And me? I stood up, took the microphone from her hands gently, and smiled. "Diane's right that I married into something," I said, loud enough for every table to hear. "I married into a family that raised a man who calls his mother every single Sunday, no matter how busy work gets, who flew home twice last year just because she said she missed him. That kind of loyalty doesn't happen by accident. That's rare. That's a real opportunity. So thank you, Diane, genuinely, for raising him that way." The room erupted in applause. Diane sat down so fast her chair scraped against the floor, and I watched her face shift from smug to stunned in real time. But I wasn't finished. Not because I wanted to humiliate her further, but because I'd learned something in 6 months of watching her, and I wanted her to know I saw her. I walked over, crouched beside her chair so only she could hear, and said quietly, "I know this isn't really about me. I know it's scary to feel like you're losing your son to someone else's family. You're not. You're gaining a daughter who's going to make sure he never stops calling." That's when she started crying. Not performative tears, real ones, into a cocktail napkin while the DJ awkwardly cued the next song. Sam grabbed my hand under the table later and didn't let go for the rest of the night. In the car, he finally said, "I've never seen anyone disarm my mother like that. Not once. Not ever." I just shrugged. You don't fight fire with fire at your own wedding. You just make sure everyone in the room sees who's actually burning, and then you offer them water anyway. Diane texted an apology 2 days later. A real one, not a deflection. We had coffee a month after that. It's still not perfect between us, but it's honest now, which is more than I ever expected. So if someone tries to embarrass you in front of a room full of people, don't match their volume. Match their audience. Give them nothing to work with but your grace. And if you can, leave them a door to walk back through. Most people who hurt you are just scared people who never learned another way to hold on.